If you have ever laid in bed at 2 in the morning staring at the ceiling thinking, I love my partner, but I might also throw a pillow, you are not dramatic. You are sleep deprived. And if you and your partner are taking turns being the hero one night and the villain the next, your baby is not the only one waking up confused. Hi, I'm Treasure, and I help exhausted, overthinking parents stop guessing and start getting sleep that actually holds up in real life. And yes, I fully support teamwork because baby sleep should not become a couple's endurance sport. Let's start with what's really driving the resentment. Most resentment is not about the baby. It's about the invisible math. Who got up how many times? Who has the meeting tomorrow? Who is carrying the mental load? Who is on duty even while lying down? And who is somehow asleep like they do not live here? When you do not have an agreement, every wake up becomes a mini negotiation in the dark. And negotiations at 2 in the morning are where love goes to be tested. Here's the other piece most parents miss. Inconsistent responses do not just frustrate you, they can keep the night waking loop going. Not because your baby is playing you, but because your baby is built to repeat what works. If rocking works sometimes, feeding works sometimes, and being picked up works sometimes, then your baby is going to keep trying the full menu. So yes, this is about partnership, but it is also about pattern. Now let me give you one quick relief point that changes the way you approach tonight. You do not need a perfect plan. You need a shared plan. A plan you can repeat even when you are tired, even when you are annoyed, even when the baby is loud, and even when your partner is giving you that look that says, please, you do it. By the way, if you want this laid out in a simple, real-life way, download my free guide, The Modern Parent Sleep Roadmap. The link is in the video description and on the screen. Now let's talk about what actually helps, starting tonight. The most effective teamwork plan is not whoever wakes up handles it. That sounds fair, but it usually turns into both of you waking up, both of you resenting it, and neither of you feeling like you ever truly got to rest. Instead, think shifts and protected sleep. Protected sleep means one parent is truly off duty for a block of time. Earplugs, white noise, different room if needed, and no mental responsibility for the next wake. Because half rest is not rest. It is just laying there, marinating in dread. For many families, a simple split works. One parent covers bedtime through the first part of the night, and the other parent covers the second part of the night into morning. If you are breastfeeding and you feel like you cannot split nights, you still can split work. Your partner can do the non-feeding wake-ups, diaper, soothing, settling, and can bring the baby to you for a feed and then take the baby back. That alone can cut the total time you are fully awake, and it protects your nervous system more than you think. And if you are pumping or bottle feeding, you can alternate feeds by shift instead of alternating every wake. That prevents the we both woke up so nobody won situation. Here's the next piece that makes this work. You need a shared response script. Not a robotic script, just a shared decision about what happens when the baby wakes. Let me show you what I mean. Decide what your default response is for most wakes. Is it a brief pause to give your baby a chance to resettle, then hands-on soothing in the crib, then pick up only if needed? Is it feeding only at certain wake times? Is it checking the basics, then settling in the same calm way every time? The actual method matters less than the consistency. Because consistency is what teaches the night, this is how we go back to sleep. And this is where partners get stuck. One parent wants to try something new, and the other parent wants to survive. That is normal. Survival mode makes you do whatever ends the crying fastest, even if it makes tomorrow worse. So instead of arguing about philosophy at bedtime, decide 2 things in daylight. Decide what you will do and decide what you will not do. For example, you might decide, we will comfort, we will be calm, we will not introduce a brand new habit tonight that we cannot repeat tomorrow. That single sentence can save your relationship and your sleep plan. There are a few common patterns that create this exact problem. One is the good cop, bad cop pattern. One parent becomes the fixer who rushes in with milk or rocking, and the other parent becomes the enforcer who tries to hold a boundary. Nobody feels good in those roles, and the baby gets mixed signals. Another is the scoreboard pattern. If you are counting every wake up like it is a point system, your body is going to stay stressed all night. You are not petty, you are depleted. And another is the silent suffering pattern. One parent does most nights, tells themselves it is easier than explaining, and then slowly becomes furious that nobody noticed. If any of those feel uncomfortably familiar, you are in the right video. So here is the smallest set of changes that creates momentum fast. Pick a predictable shift split for the next 3 nights, even if it is not perfect. Pick one primary settling approach you both agree you can repeat. Pick one protected sleep block for each of you, even if it is only 3 or 4 hours at first. Then pick a 2-minute check-in time during the day, not at night. That check-in is not for blame, it is for adjustments. What did we notice? What felt hardest? What tiny change would make tonight smoother? That is how you stay consistent without turning sleep into a nightly debate team. Now, let's talk about the part nobody wants to say out loud. Sometimes your partner is not inconsistent because they do not care. They are inconsistent because they do not know what to do and they feel judged. And sometimes you are not frustrated because your partner is lazy. You are frustrated because you feel alone, and you cannot keep doing this. So I want you to hear me clearly. You are not failing as parents. You are functioning under a level of sleep deprivation that makes everything feel personal. This is also where sensory sensitive babies can change the teamwork plan. Some babies get more alert with too much handling, too much talking, or too many changes in approach. If that is your baby, your shared response should be extra boring and extra consistent. Low light, minimal talking, slow hands, same steps, same pace. The goal is not to win the wake up. The goal is to keep the nervous system calm enough that sleep is even possible. Now I want to address single parents. Because I see you. If you are doing this alone, teamwork might look like building a support swap, a relative, a trusted friend, a sitter for one early evening block, or even asking your co-parent for one protected night so you can recover. If none of that is available, your version of teamwork is simplifying the plan so you are not doing a complicated routine at 2 a.m. Simple is not lazy, simple is sustainable. Now here's the part that usually changes everything. When partners get aligned, babies often improve faster, even with the same schedule and the same sleep environment, because your baby stops experiencing random outcomes and starts experiencing a predictable path back to sleep. And you stop feeling like you are battling each other while also battling the night. Let me give you a quick myth bust that protects your progress. Consistency means never flexing is a myth. Real consistency is a clear default with thoughtful flexibility. If your baby is sick, if you are traveling, if something truly unusual is happening, you support your baby and you support yourself. Then you return to your default when life normalizes. That is not failure, that is real life. Now, here's when I would stop guessing and get extra support. If you and your partner are fighting regularly about sleep, if you are dreading bedtime because it feels like a nightly conflict, or if you are so depleted that you feel numb, panicky, or not like yourself, you deserve help. And on the baby side, if your baby has breathing concerns during sleep, persistent vomiting, poor weight gain, or you are worried about pain or feeding, loop in your pediatrician. Also, if you are so tired that you are at risk of falling asleep in unsafe places with your baby, that is an emergency level exhaustion problem. That is not about willpower, that is about safety and support. Here is the promised payoff, the thing that makes the whole teamwork plan actually stick. Your goal is not equal effort every night. Your goal is predictable relief over the whole week. Some nights will be heavier for one parent. That is normal. But when you zoom out, each of you should be getting protected sleep. Each of you should know what happens at wake-ups, and neither of you should feel like the default parent all the time. If you want help building a plan that fits your baby and your real schedule, I can help. I have a master's in social work, I'm a certified pediatric sleep consultant, and I'm the founder and CEO of Rested and Renewed Pediatric Sleep Consulting. I'm also a toddler mom, so I understand the emotional math of bedtime in a very personal way. You can book a consultation through Rested and Renewed, and if you are not ready for that yet, start with my free Modern Parent Sleep Roadmap. The link is in the video description and on the screen. And as you try this tonight, I want you to remember something simple. Your baby does not need perfect parents. Your baby needs calm, predictable patterns. And you deserve a home where bedtime does not quietly destroy your relationship. The next video will help you spot the one hidden piece that makes nights fall apart even when you are doing everything right, so you can stop blaming yourself and finally feel confident about what to change. Tap the screen to watch my next video.
Before you go, download Treasure's free guide, hit subscribe, and watch the next one. You'll be so glad you did.